Thank you, Garth, and I do remember those days. And if any of you ever remember working out at Sky Valley, you'll remember all my children and the craziness up there. So my name is Sheena, and I think I pretty much know everybody in the audience. And one day when I do this, and I don't know people in the audience, it will feel even more different than it feels now. But I wanted to tell you that it's as a writer, because I never imagined myself to be a writer, a published author who would have a book like this. And I still feel a bit awkward about what I've written in here. And I've read my book to people, like just one or two people at a time. And I've never actually read my book to an audience. So the inspiration behind this book came because, well, when I remember, Celia will remember this, I started writing a book about this quite a few years ago and had her help me with some of it. And then I went ahead and decided I would do a whole book and divide each chapter up into like an essay of what my experiences were running a gym, and about the health of the community, which I feel very passionate about. And because my business had sold in May of 2014, and I wasn't really ready to retire. I wasn't ready for my business to be sold, and it was a very difficult, challenging time for me. So I got on my bike and rode my bike down to California to work through some of the bugs in my brain. I came back, and it was my friend Wendy had a course on how to become a best-selling author, and I sat down and I took the course. It was like 10 modules, and it was an inspiration to set the book up the way I did. So then I did Nanowrimo, which took me a month. It took me a month to write the book, but the whole process of publishing it took 2 years. By the time I had it edited and found a publisher that could print it, all those things took time. And it was also my own inability to really felt so self-conscious about what I had written. And I wasn't sure, like putting it, for a writer to actually get what they've written and put it on a book and have people look at it, it is a weird process. And it's hard to describe, because I've always been someone who's pretty extroverted and doesn't mind doing things, but this was a challenge. And today is really special for me because, first of all, I get to read it to a large group, and I have my supportive friends here, and some of you have been my clients. Many of you are still my clients, and some of you are just friends who happen to be here to support me. And I hope when I read the book today that it does re-inspire you and re-motivate you about your own health. I hope that in my words, you remember why you want to be healthy and fit. And the words in my book came about from my almost 20 years of experience working with clients, running a business, and all the things and all the challenges of raising a large family with many children, large children at the same time. I thought it would be really fitting because there's a couple of chapters in the book that really speak to me, and they say that people never get past, I think it's something like 80% of people who read a non-fiction book never get to the last chapter. They only read the first few chapters. And in the first chapter of my book, I actually mentioned Donald Trump. And now he's president. So I think maybe I'm partly can predict the future as well as other things. So I'm going to read to you the introduction. I'm going to leave out some of the long part here. But I want you to enjoy this. It's quite funny about Donald, my friend Donald. So my love affair with exercise began when I was 14 and could not run a mile around the school track during a fitness test. I decided to start jogging regularly, and by the end of a month of training, I took 2.5 minutes off my time. That early success started my rewarding, exciting, and somewhat tumultuous 35-year relationship with exercise. My love affair with entrepreneurism began in my second year of university when I first perused the scholarship and bursary binder at the dean's office, trying to find out which major would yield the greatest financial return. In the end, it turned out to be a minor in poultry science, which translated into almost $10,000 of unclaimed scholarships and my name as a co-author on a paper published in the American Poultry Science Journal. My children were entertained for years with my poultry science stories. My clients would frequently comment on my university degree that I framed and proudly displayed on the wall in my gym. Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a minor in Poultry Science, they would ask with certain hesitation. It's completely compatible with being a personal trainer, I would reply with complete confidence. Didn't you know that? Not to worry, you will understand after the first few workhouse sessions. My two favorite activities were married together on Salt Spring Island 15 years ago when I started a personal training studio in my home. It was a great way to run my own business while raising 5 active children. However, I felt that I was limiting myself by only working with clients one-on-one, and soon realized I was missing out on reaching a wider audience. Eventually, my desire to run a membership gym led me to sell my home and studio and embark on a complicated real estate journey with so much wheeling and dealing that I began to feel like the female version of Donald Trump. Finally, in 2009, I was able to purchase a commercial building in Ganges on Salt Spring Island and start the membership gym I'd been hoping for. After months of careful planning and equipment selection, the doors were open to the public to purchase monthly memberships. Alas, and in a rather spectacular anticlimax, no one came. Despite the fact that the only competitor on the island had equipment that had not changed in over 20 years, no one made the switch to my clean, sleek, up-to-date gym. Those first few months were devastating, not to mention financially frightening. Then I had a revelation. It was the kind of revelation you get when you remember where you put your car keys when you are certain you're going to miss that job interview. Or when you remember what your partner wanted for Christmas just before the shop sells out. Here on Salt Spring, there is a local joke that goes like this. How many Salt Springers does it take to change a light bulb? Change? I realized that on our tiny island of 10,000 people who did not take easily to any kind of change, I was going to have to share with them the reasons why they should join this gym instead of sharing what the gym is. That was the real beginning of my journey and where the real magic happened. Once we focused on the why instead of the what, the fitness studio went from 0 members to 350 members and 70 personal training clients over the next 3 years. When the doors first opened, there was 1 personal trainer. Yes, it was yours truly. After 2 years, there was a team of 4 trainers. The other gym in town proudly told everyone that their membership had not changed with the opening of a new club on the island, which means that 350 new customers had stepped forward to join my gym. With the increase in membership, what I came to realize was that the process of joining a gym is unique to each individual. It is also apparent to me how important it was that more people within a community join a gym and use the facility regularly as it promotes fitness and a greater sense of well-being. So that led me to write out the 7 reasons why people join a gym, which I actually did write an article for IdeaFit, which is a big organization in North America for fitness professionals, on the 7 reasons people join a gym. So if you have my book, go ahead and read those. I won't read those out to you right now, but it was pretty cool. So I also got to write an article that went to a wider audience, because I thought it was really important discovering the why instead of the what. And I think there was a book by Simon Sinek that says that. I don't know if anybody's heard of him, but he's written a book and he's also done a TED Talk. Whatever one's reasons for joining a gym, the one thing that can be guaranteed is that it is a great decision. At this time, fewer than 20% of Canadian adults belong to a fitness facility. This needs to change in order to improve the health of individual people as well as the health of our nation. Fitness is prevention, and prevention is the best cure. All levels of government are affected by rising healthcare costs. We all have a responsibility to ourselves and our families to take care of our health, just as we take care of our finances. My experience as a gym owner reinforced my belief in the value of fitness centers and their role in creating a healthier community. After my business sold, I decided to commit to paper my heart's strongest desire, which is to be a part of a positive change and the human potential movement, and write this book that you now hold in your hands. Everyone has the potential to be and do what they desire. It is difficult to focus on our purpose when we are in pain, out of shape, tired, or suffering from debilitating health issues. Joining a gym and focusing on exercise is a way to gain the ability to do the things that you really, really want to do. We told our clients daily that they did not have to love to exercise, but they had to love their life enough to exercise in order to get the most out of living. I hope that as you read this book and understand intellectually and emotionally the value of your health, that you embrace your wild side. Let your dreams become a reality and don't hold back. If you want to ride your bike across the country, do it. If you want to go into Tough Mudder, do it. If you want to be super fit and compete as an athlete until your last dying breath, do it. Don't let the judgments of others or your own inner critic alter your fitness goals and dreams. You will read stories about some extraordinary people in this book and read stats about Probabilities if you don't claim your right to a healthy body and mind. Choose to let your exercise freak fly and let it take you on a grand adventure. Embrace any possibility that the mind can imagine. Remember that this life is not a dress rehearsal, so grab the best costume you can find and take your place on stage and act out the life you have been dreaming of. My gift to you are my words and my unconditional support while you enter into this new way of being. My dream is that once 50% or more of the population is going to a gym regularly to exercise, a whole new world will be opened up to everyone. There will be more money for education and poverty prevention as fewer funds are needed for healthcare. New and ingenious methods of exercise will be invented. Gym facilities will be designed in interesting and creative ways to focus on the needs of a wide variety of consumers. As people become fitter and healthier, communication will improve and there will be less violence and misery. Energy will be available for community enhancement projects that bring people together in a positive way. There really is no end to the possibilities for improving the quality of life through increased health and fitness. Gyms are at the forefront of this change. As a gym owner, I found it difficult to explain the value of quality fitness facilities in a community without seeming self-serving. Now I have the freedom to express that value in a book and explore new ways to be a part of creating a positive change in the world. I wrote this book to inspire you, to inspire those of you making the choice to be healthier, to get to a gym and start that journey. Included in the book are tips on how to choose a gym and how to manage the first few weeks and months of your gym experience. There are chapters on the basic of exercise physiology to help explain why your body needs regular exercise, and chapters on saving your brain, as well as some different perspectives on health and wellness. This book can be read straight through or used as a reference when questions come up. As I started to write this book, I joined a writers group at the local library. I sat next to a gentleman who was composing a memoir on his journey with cancer. He politely asked me what I was writing about. I am writing a book on joining a gym, I responded. Without hesitation, he immediately said, I need to join a gym. My desire is that many more people will have a similar reaction and head out to the club and sign the papers, the first step in living a happier, healthier, and more engaged life. Wishing you all the success in your journey of health and fitness. Sheena, 2014. So that was my introduction, and I think that kind of sums up a little bit about who I am and why I wrote the book. And the whole book was meant to inspire you in that way. So the chapters were all set up as individual essays. If you do have a copy of the book, you'll notice that when you're reading. You don't have to read the whole book all the way through. You can just pick out the ones that you're interested in. However, there was one chapter in this book that I had the most fun writing, and it's called The Zen of the Treadmill. I had actually considered calling my book The Zen of the Treadmill, but it wasn't really what the book was about. Oh, I had so many arguments and fights with people about the title of the book. And also, if anybody's ever been a writer and had their work ripped apart by an editor, it feels like your heart's been taken out and shredded and put back. Maybe a little salt and iodine put on it first. Eventually the Zen of the Treadmill just became a chapter. And the reason why this one is really important is because we live on Salt Spring, so we understand Salt Spring. A lot of people won't understand the nuances, maybe in the bigger world when they read this, but you will understand and find the humor in it. And also, for some of you that have just moved to Salt Spring, I can see some people in the audience that have just moved here, and you will start to understand in the next couple of years what I'm talking about in these first few paragraphs. Chapter 7, The Zen of the Treadmill.